Close Sports Pulse USA Today Sports NFL experts tell you who's going to win the biggest matchups of the week. USA Today Sports USA Today Sports Jarrett Bell breaks down all the key elements for Week 14 in the NFL, from Russell Wilson to Darrelle Revis to Hugh Jackson. Who's hot? Russell Wilson. This is what an MVP looked like. Despite injury hits that have depleted the defensive star power and forced a musical chairs scenario with 5 running backs logging starts, the Seahawks 84 are in the thick of the playoff chase largely because their magical quarterback has willed them to that point. Wilson has kept Seattle in every game and sparkled in crunch time, with an NFL best 134.1 passer rating, 15 TDs, 1 int in the fourth quarter. It will take some more magic to go cross-country and win at Sacksonville, against the NFL's best defense. The Jaguars have allowed the fewest yards, passing yards and points, 14.8 per game in the NFL, while compiling an NFL-high 45 sacks. Pressure's on Hugh Jackson. In dumping Sashi Brown as chief football architect, Browns owner Jimmy Haslam declared that the coach stays while new GM John Dorsey settles in. So some of the heat on Jackson is relieved, or delayed, despite his 127 record. Yet with Green Bay coming, there's still the matter of the Browns 0-1-2 trying to avoid becoming the second team in NFL history to go 0-1-6. That pressure remains. That and the constant reminders that while Jackson rolls with the NFL's lowest-rated passer in rookie Deshaun Kaiser 58.1, they could have drafted Carson Wentz or Deshaun Watson. Matchups to watch: 5 key battles in Week 1 for PICKS. Our NFL staff makes the call on Week 1 for Fletcher Cox vs. Roger Saffold. The marquee value of the NFC showdown between the Rams and Eagles centers around Jared Goff and Carson Wentz. But the difference could very well be found in the trenches, where Cox, the spectacular defensive tackle, leads a Philadelphia unit that is best in the NFL against the run, 68.1 yards per game. And without Todd Gurley's impact, second in the NFL, yards from scrimmage, Goff can turn average in a hurry. That makes Saffold, the left guard ranked by Pro Football Focus as the 8th best guard this season, a huge key. Can't hurt that he faces All-Pro D tackle Aaron Donald in practice. But the challenge Sunday includes the spacing in Jim Schwartz's wide 9 scheme. Next man up, Darrelle Revis. The veteran Island man isn't actually stepping in for Marcus Peters, the Pro Bowl cornerback that Chiefs coach Andy Reid suspended for their huge game against the Raiders as a disciplinary measure. Revis started opposite Peters in Week 13 and logged 40% of the snaps in his Chiefs debut. Still, Revis will be counted on for even more with Peters out, at least from the standpoint of presence and shutdown coverage, as Raiders quarterback Derek Carr torched the Chiefs for a season-high 417 yards and 3 TDs in Week 7. The other corner to watch: Kenneth Acker, likely to join Revis and Steven Nelson in the rotation. Rookie watch: J. Watt. Surely, the Steelers' first-round linebacker is used to being referred to as the younger brother of J.J. Watt, which, fair or not, raises expectations because, well, it may be in the genes. Regardless, Watt, with his 5 sacks tied for second most among NFL rookies, is making a name for himself as a boost to a much-improved defense, aided by the talent he's surrounded by. Cameron Hayward, AL. And it took him 1 game to match his big brother's NFL interception total. Stomach for an upset 49ers at Texans. 1 start for Jimmy Garoppolo, 8-1 That's not to suggest that he's destined to match Joe Montana's achievements, but Garoppolo was smooth enough in triggering San Francisco to a comeback win at Chicago last weekend. We know that new GM John Lynch is stoked. Lynch proclaimed on KNBR that he could have won 5 rings, not 3, but 5, had Garoppolo quarterbacked the Bucs during his heyday with Warren Sapp and co. Let's just say it's apparent what a capable quarterback can do for a team's confidence. In contrast, the 49ers' chances improved when considering Houston quarterback Tom Savage's issues. Turnover: Tom has thrown 6 picks and lost 7 fumbles in his 6 starts. If playoffs were today, the Vikings would be positioned to become the first team to stay at home throughout the NFC playoffs and host a Super Bowl in the home stadium. Minnesota 102 moved into position to claim the number 1 seed, at least temporarily, after the Eagles lost at Seattle last weekend. For a team quarterbacked by solid but unproven Case Keenum, it could be the ultimate swing factor. But first things first, Minnesota can clinch the NFC North title with a win on Sunday at Carolina, which would mean handling Cam Newton again. The Vikings' defense hammered the Panthers' quarterback in notching wins the past 2 times they met, including the job last season when Newton was sacked a career-high 8 times. Did you notice? No one has rushed for more yards in the fourth quarter this season than the Titans' Derrick Henry, who had another long TD jaunt last weekend to push his season total to 376 yards. 2 of Henry's TD runs 75 yards to finish off Houston in Week 13 and a 72-yarder against Indianapolis have accounted for 147 of his fourth-quarter yards. But those efficient runs count, too. As a team, Tennessee ranks 4th in the league with 461 yards in the fourth quarter, trailing Philadelphia 481, Dallas 473 and Jacksonville 467. Stats: the fact when Jared Goff and Carson Wentz face off on Sunday at the Coliseum, it will mark the 8th time that quarterbacks drafted 12 in the same year have met. That might signal an advantage for Goff. The quarterback drafted number 1 is 52 in such encounters. Photos Power Rankings in Week 14.